An example post could include, "I thought of you today when I saw sunflowers at the store. I know they're your favorite." The next specific concept is continued social actor, and the definition of this is actions taken by the mourner to use social media to interject the deceased into present life. An indicator of this would be the mourner's post suggesting that the deceased is still among us. An example post could be, "Your soul is still here." And the next specific concept is eternal remembrance, the definition of that being actions taken by the mourner to use social media to memorialize the deceased. An indicator would be the mourner suggesting an online memorial for the deceased that others could visit. An example post being, "Please go check out this website we created in honor of the life of John Smith. All contributions are appreciated." Another example of eternal remembrance is including a hashtag such as an RIP hashtag. So for our content analysis, we researched how Twitter users mourn the death of celebrities, and we chose celebrities in the range of that passed away in 2011 to 2014. And Curlinger defines a content analysis as a method of studying and analyzing communication in a systematic, objective, and quantitative manner for the purpose of measuring variables. So essentially, we assign numbers to content and turned it into quantitative data. We used a program called Topsy, which is a free online program, and we restricted our tweet to only tweets the week after news of the celebrity death broke, and it included the hashtag RIP in the celebrity's name. Our sampling method was a convenient sampling method, and we chose the first 100 tweets. So the unit of analysis is a Twitter post or a tweet, and we only coded original tweets. We disregarded duplicates and replies. The measurement categories were eternal remembrance, continued social actor, and habitual communication. And within the codebook, we defined these and had indicators of each, which I just went over with you guys. And we created these with mutual exclusion in mind. So that means either it's present or not present. If it was not present, we assigned it a 1, and if it was present, we assigned it a 2. And the reason this content analysis is important is because the majority of people mourning a celebrity had a weak tie with them. So through this, we could see the difference in social media mourning with a weak tie versus a strong tie.
Okay, and to gather our results, we used SPSS to analyze and code 1,687 tweets, like my fellow researchers said. We're looking for rest in peace celebrity hashtags between the years 2011 and 2014. We were looking for the first week after their death. As you said, there were 3 different variables we were looking for: continued social actor, habitual communication, and eternal remembrance. If it was present, we marked it as 1, and if it was not present, we marked it as 2. Something we did additionally was we took these the number of replies for all tweets, and we broke them up into 3 categories. If a tweet had 0 to 99 replies, it was recoded as 1, what we called low. If a tweet had 100 to 199 replies, it was recoded as 2, what we called medium. And if a tweet had over 200 replies, it was recoded as a 3, what we called high. Essentially, we were hoping to find that the higher number of replies, there would be a greater influence the mourner would have over his followers, and in turn show presence of immortality communication in the selected tweets. After the tweets were coded, we used SPSS to create 3 chi-squares, where we crossed the amount of tweets with the variables, our 3 variables, which were divided into present and not present. Using the results from the chi-square, we determined that for both habitual communication and continued social actor, there was not a significant relationship. In both, P was greater than 0.05. However, with eternal remembrance, we found that there was a significant relationship with P greater than 0.5, less than 0.5, excuse me. It showed a slight relationship between the amount of replies to a tweet and the presence of eternal remembrance. It was 0.01 and actually diverted from our research question that influencers would have more tweets containing our variables of immortality communication. What we learned from the results was that influencers didn't have an effect on the presence of immortality communication in the tweets where they mourned the death of a celebrity.
So overall, when we looked at the previous studies, they showed that interacting or memorializing with the deceased is generally relative on social media. There's a study by Hall and Reed that said that users of social media create an illusion of intimacy with a celebrity. And another study by Gibson said that even though they do not have that face-to-face interaction, they still have an impact on their psyche. Inside of the content analysis, we studied the influencers and they suggested any variables of immortality communication with the replies, if they had replies. Out of the 1,687 tweets, the most frequent variable was habitual communication. However, the most significant variable was eternal remembrance. And that's different because just because it's frequent doesn't mean it's going to be significant to the data that we are trying to find. Eternal remembrance was the only one significant which had the significance of 0.001. So that was less than 0.05, which made it significant. Habitual communication was 0.471, and continued social actor was 0.690. Now on the frequency side, the habitual communication was most frequent, and that had 6% of tweets showing dialogue, which doesn't sound like much, but that was the most common between all of them. Our study diverged from this data. There was just not enough to support that these users were using all three of these to say they're using immortal communication. And we believe it's because the absence of that physical connection, and that ties in with weak ties. Because people didn't know these people personally, so they can't say, okay, I miss you, I want you to come back, which they can't generally say it, but it's not that personal relationship that they have. And Facebook is just more useful for memorial sites. That's where most of them are, so we believe that that would be more prevalent on those sites. So overall, all this data that we found did refute our hypothesis.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Limits and future decisions. Realistically, we cannot analyze every single account on Twitter that has mentioned the death of a celebrity. Coding can be biased or objective when coded by different people. What one might feel is habitual communication, another researcher might feel is something else, even though they have indicators, because tweets can be vague. So, however, when examining a larger amount of posts, we would have added more to our findings. Most of the posts that we found were a shock, or they were surprised of the death. If more tweets were found, it would have been more concrete if we had more than 100 tweets. Examining tweets days after the death could have also had a different impact than the first day, because when using Topsy, we found that even though our time frame was the first week, when you were coding, all the dates you had were still the first day because there were so many tweets that we found. So ways of death can also have an impact on how the tweets were coded also, because since it was just that first day, people were just saying that shock, but as the days go on, more might have been revealed and they could have said how they felt about the death. So overall, it would have provided more different reactions and responses by the Twitter mourners.